Okay, so I will start with my job interview question.
Okay.
What experience do you have for the role?
Okay, so at the moment I'm president of Bangla Society, which means that I've got good organisation skills. I've got the student voice of about 30-40 members. We host events for about 100 people, 200 people, so I know that people can trust me. I'm also currently the UCL Societies Officer, so again I'm presenting the student voice of about 147 general interest societies. If they have any issues they can always come to me. I've also been involved in peer mentoring while I was at school and sixth form. Haven't done it recently, but I've got some experience in that and I've had training in that.
So the Welfare and International Officer position could encompass a lot of things.
Yeah.
To you, which are your three main priorities?
Okay, so my three main ones are exam welfare, because that affects everyone. All of us sit exams, I think, or coursework, whatever. All of you need study space and less stress. Second one is international students, because we are at UCL's global university. I think it's really important to protect you guys, make sure that you get everything that you want. And the third thing, but it doesn't mean it's the last thing, but the third thing is definitely accessibility around campus, because even though it affects a smaller proportion of students, it's still really important.
When you think about all the things that you'd like to do next year, and I'm sure there are lots of them because it's a big role, if you could only achieve one concrete thing, what would that be?
So the one thing I think I'd work on definitely is working well with Cut the Rent campaign, because UCL has had so much media coverage about rent prices right now, and it's getting higher and higher. And yes, London is hard to live in because of the expenses, but it's not fair on us. We don't have an income, or we need to work our hearts off to make sure that we can have enough money to pay for rent, but then at the same time do well in our exams. How is that even an option? So definitely cut the rent, get the rent lower, definitely.
And how would you develop and improve welfare campaigns at UCL?
Okay, so definitely welfare campaigns, I think it's more about being able to ensure that people can come forward and come and speak to me or anyone in the welfare department. So come and speak to the LGBT plus officers, come on and speak to disabilities officers, just because there's so many people on campus. There's 40,000 students, but not everyone knows that, you know, there's a welfare team there to support them. So I just want to get some more online presence and just make sure that everyone knows that we're here to help them.
You say you want to push for better funding for UCL psych services.
Yeah.
Where do you think that funding could be spent?
I think because at the moment there's endless waiting lists, like you have to wait at least a month or even 2 months to actually be seen. And I know that there are other opportunities for people to go to. So for example, there's Care First, but sometimes it's not as easy speaking on the phone. Sometimes you actually need to meet someone. So I think the funding, will go to ensuring that maybe there's more counsellors, more psychologists available to speak to, so that you can improve your emotional well-being. Also maybe creating more publicity as well to make sure that everyone knows that they can come.
Your manifesto also mentions working with Cut the Rent, and you've said that you've been doing that quite recently. This is already, though, a successful campaign without sabbatical officers being directly involved. So, what do you think that if you become a SAB, what do you think your voice lends to that?
Okay, so I know it's been very successful, it's brilliant, it's all over the news, but I think I can provide that link, that support, because at the end of the day, Cut the Rent's doing brilliant, but I think that there still needs to be more awareness. I'm aware that there's about 150 students at the moment, just getting more and more people interested, and as a sub officer, I'm the voice for the student body. So I can make sure that there's more awareness of it, and just make sure that more students can get involved. I also think because I've got meetings with the provost on a regular basis, I can just ensure that there's a smooth process between smooth liaison between the union, the university, and then Cut the Rent campaign.
So you mentioned working with liberation officers as well. You mentioned the LGBT officer, the disabled students officer. What liberation campaigns would you like to work on specifically? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah. Okay, so the BME officer, both of the BME officers that are standing are talking about BME and mental health. So I think that's something I want to focus on, because I think especially students of Asian backgrounds, they have this specific stigma about mental health, because a lot of their families will just shun it away and pretend that it's not a problem. But it's a massive issue, it's something that they can't talk about amongst their families. So I want to work with the BME network and raise awareness and tell people that yes, you can come forward and we're here to talk to you and listen to you.
And then Last thing, one thing I noticed you didn't mention on your manifesto is students with caring responsibilities, which would come under your remit. So do you have any plans to develop and improve services there?
Yes, definitely, because at the moment I'm really close friends with the Students with Caring Responsibilities office at the moment. I'm developing those ideas. I didn't put them in my manifesto because I had so much on there already, but it doesn't mean that it's not important. I'll definitely ensure that, for example, childcare, students with caring responsibilities who maybe are helping out at home with parents, I want to ensure that they've got more support. There's a lot of people that don't know that there is an ability to, get support for that. So just raising awareness is my main thing this year, and just make sure that people can really come to me and talk to me if they need to.